Because here we are live. I don't know. I was adjusting the camera. We were talking about blackout curtains and sleeping. Who knows where this thing officially came in? But we've gotten started. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome to 10th Floor. It's me, Matt.
It's me, McCat.
It's McCat. McCat is here.
I don't know why I started that. I wasn't trying to say mama. I don't know why I started out with McCat.
Because you have children, and classically, we've all been Melissa.
But I don't do that when you're not all in front of me.
Melissa. Stemmelissa.
Mastalissa.
Mastalissa, that's the one. That's the one. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt. That's Cat, I promise.
Howdy, y'all.
Get on out of that waiting room, leave the snacks behind, or keep them with you. Whatever. The elevator doors are open. Climb on into the elevator. Come on. There's room for everybody, even though I'm taking up the whole frame. Get in here. Get into the elevator. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor. Because it's the best vantage point to watch somebody tumble out of a window and splash into a pool. So come on, everybody. We got the Olympics in Paris. We've got diving. We've got swimming. And we've got Christina trying to outmatch them all. But it's not just us as always, Ma. We got Chandra here. Chandra always there to open up the doors and lay out the cinnamon bread. No raisins. And welcome everybody into the waiting room while we get ready. So thank you very much, Chandra, for that. Sindis, of course, always the second name that I say. Because Sindis also ready every single week to hang out with us on the 10th floor. Carolyn, Jeannie, Sandra, Rochelle. Oh my gosh, it's a foot. Lee, hello, Lee. My goodness gracious. Gosh.
Recognize all those friends.
Welcome back, everybody. There's plenty of room. Who's pushing the button? Who wants to push the button? Go ahead, just push the button. It's the 10th, 1-0, all the way up to the 10th floor.
Use your elbow. I don't know how many people.
Yeah, it's a hospital situation. Hopefully you're wearing your mask. Use your elbow. They should have hand sanitizer near all of the stairways and desks and all of that. So go ahead and use that. Boom, 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 boom. Well, Jeannie. Hi. Jeannie says, wow, those behind the scenes photos. You can really tell how small that pool is, just like you told us.
Yes, you guys. Yes, I saw, Jeannie, I saw the same photos. And it was so cool to look at those photos, wasn't it?
It was.
And it was extra cool for Matt and I too, because we have been there and we knew exactly what that would have looked like in person.
Yes.
Photos, but being in that environment and actually seeing what the space is like, we could really tell exactly how that was done.
Yeah, totally.
That was very fun photos. I love them.
It really was. So, they showed the photos of the pool half of stuff, but I don't remember seeing anything about how they fell out of the window.
No.
So I don't know how that was set up. I don't know if there was a platform.
I don't know how that was set up.
Because here's the thing about that. The window set, that the we'll call it the set, which is the backdrop that has the building facade and the window on it.
Right.
They would have had built for that scene, because that's nowhere that we have seen. And they don't typically shoot on like the outside of the hospital, the hotel window. So they had to have built that for the stunt.
Sure, and it had to be that breakaway stuff. All of it had to be very breakaway.
Breakaway, all that. I would imagine instead of I don't know, because it's tough. I don't know how they do it, because we've never seen them prepare a scene. We've just seen the soundstage. So I don't know if they found a small section of like the place where they put Alexis's set, where they built that with a little platform for her to jump off of, or if they did it in the middle of the soundstage with some movable lights, because there's a lot of room in the middle too.
Well, they might have just even had the base of the parapet and then put a window on top of that.
Even that, I mean, they probably had to get creative, because it's not like they would have necessarily had to purchase brand new materials. Aside from what breaks, right? Oof. Wolfgang. Hello, Wolfgang. Wolfgang's here. Hi, Wolfgang.
Hey, Wolfgang. Yeah. Those photos were fun to look at. I looked at them over and over again. Those are fun.
Yeah. Can I see the photos? It says Wolfgang. I don't remember retweeting them on my Twitter account, but they're definitely on the GH account. And when it comes to our personal photos that we've taken of the sets and our tours and our time at the GH convention, that stuff is on our Twitter page. So if you go to our Twitter page at 10th Floor GH and go to the media tab on our profile, then you're going to find all of the cover art for the shows, the weekly shows that we do. You're going to find retweeted pictures and videos from other people, and you're also going to find what we uploaded from the GH conventions. It's been a couple of months since we went to the last one. It's been over a year since the one before that. I mean, it's been a year since the one before that.
You're going to have to do some scrolling and digging.
Scroll. That's the whole point.
Scroll and dig.
Oh, I'd love to see the behind-the-scenes work of creating the stunt, says Rochelle. Well, all of that's on the official GH accounts. So you go to the Twitter, Instagram, all that, Facebook as well. They put up all sorts of stuff.
They did. They put a lot of stuff up.
Yeah. Because, I mean, goodness gracious, what a surprising twist of events.
And of course on Thursday, it was the very last thing we saw on Thursday.
Right.
And
like 15 minutes before we click the on button for the skinny dip.
Right. And when that happened, my jaw just dropped. And I even went like, oh my God. That was awesome though. I loved it.
Cinda says
I'm gonna have a baby on Monday, I have a feeling.
Oh yeah, I mean they were planning the C-section by the time Friday was over.
Yeah.
Cinda says there's so much eye candy in the swimming trunks, I never noticed the size of the pool. Because she's looking at the size of something else, everybody.
Yeah, but those pictures really do give you an idea. And yes, it is quite long, though. The pool's long. Would you say it's 20 feet, Pat, at least?
I don't know about it. I mean, maybe. It's hard for me to just... It's definitely longer than a person. It's not 6 feet tall in length.
Actually, I would say maybe the length of that pool...
It's like 3 people?
It's like the length of a small backyard pool.
I guess. Yeah.
I think.
Like one of those above ground ones, right?
But it's not very wide. It's only about 5 feet wide, about 15 to 20 feet long, and only about 3 feet deep. So I was really impressed when we saw Cameron Matheson swim in it about 3 weeks ago. And he's a big dude, you guys.
He's tall. He's very
tall guy. Very muscular, but he's tall. I've seen him in person. He's a big person. And to pull off where he actually looked like he was swimming, that was actually really good, because I think it's just really hard for an actor to make that pool look believable, like it's, it has enough depth to be over your head that you would have to tread water.
Yeah, it's definitely not deep enough. Like it would be, it's like the perfect size for Wiley to have a blast in it.
Yes, it's perfect for Wiley to be up to his almost shoulders.
Yeah, he'd have a blast splashing around, all that sort of stuff. Like he'd have a great time with it. But when it comes to a full-grown
Wiley
adult,
and Donna, perfect for that pool.
But when it comes to a full-grown adult, so not only is it an impressive when Cameron Matheson makes it look like a real pool, Taj Bello has done the same thing as well. And then on Cindis's note, while she's looking for stuff that isn't the size of the pool, she's looking for other things. These actors are actually very skilled at making sure when they step out of the pool and they are a dude with a wang doodle, they immediately have that towel in front of their wet bathing suit so TV doesn't catch nothing.
That's probably a good idea, because even if you don't want to look, you're still gonna
notice it, right? And so they're pretty skilled at that. And the framing is good to make sure that Cindis's eyes stay clean.
You don't want to have to wash your eyeballs out with soap.
But on the Cameron Matheson note, though, I mean, I would imagine that since he's been fit for his entire life, that he is skilled in a number of sport type exercise way. Not necessarily, oh man, I'm a great softball player, but swimming, lifting, running, throwing things, that sort of stuff that just kind of comes with a natural physique and also the movements that you do to work out your body. It makes sense that this man is just maybe he was able to tuck into a small ball and just be like whoosh, whoosh, twice and just make it look amazing.
I know, it was kind of It was kind of something, actually. I was like, wow, that's something.
Oh my
But
gosh.
anyway, getting back to Christina, and oh my gosh. Oh, Ava, things don't look good for you, hon.
No. Things are definitely not looking good for Ava. So there's a couple of things. Couple of things. Number one, she's not trusted by the city of Port Charles to begin with. So, something happened around Ava, and you go, okay, well, what did Ava do? That's the question, right? So Christina falls out of the window, and the first question is, okay, well, what did Ava do? And so they march upstairs to go ask Ava what happened.
And unfortunately, the one person that she still had in her corner, Ava still had in her corner, is the person that saw her standing in the window after Christina fell out.
Yeah.
It was Trina.
Yes.
She's gonna lose the friendship of Trina.
Oh, definitely. So Trina before, because this has come up with Trina and Ava before, because, classically she hasn't gotten along with the Corinthos,
right.
Spencer clan family, Jax, if you want to include Jocelyn in it, right? So she's never really gotten along with that family. They share a baby, and that's the only reason why there's ever been temporary peace, is because of Avery. If it wasn't for Avery, they would have been at each other's throats every day for 10 years.
Yeah, so, because, she was very involved with Ava was very involved with the Jerome crime family, being the head of it for a while.
Exactly.
So she was one of Sonny's big enemies in town. The leaders of the 5 families, and Ava was one.
Right.
Was his enemy. And then, Sonny gets all crazy from the waist down, especially when he's in the Amherst cemetery.
There's nothing to turn you on more than the crypt of a dead dead family member, right? Nothing like Delia. It's Delia's grave. No, gross.
They were in the Quartermain Mausoleum.
It's not even their family. It's like,
no, it wasn't even their family,
Matt. The body of Alan and AJ's in here, Ava.
I don't know. I don't remember why they were in there, but they were in there.
Alan made poor choices with women. I can feel his spirit jumping inside of me. Text message from Pete Monzingo. Thanks. I complimented him on his new music videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about Pete?
Pete Monzingo. Yeah, I'm still trying to get Vicky on the show. I need to reach out to her again.
Yeah, I haven't seen them on I haven't seen him on much lately.
He's trying to get he's doing music right now.
Oh, okay.
So he did an album and he's shot a couple of music videos. This is Pete Monzingo, a friend of the show, we'll say. We met him at the GH convention last year. So Pete Monzingo and his mom Vicky are YouTube's, or not YouTube, but including YouTube, but they're social media celebrities. They got 1.2 million TikTok subscribers and all that stuff. Pete is this red-haired tall dude, and his mom is a little person. And their big video that set the internet on fire was him playing the trombone to her day, providing sound effects.
Yes.
But Vicky's a big GH fan and has been for a very long time. She had dreams of being an actress and being on the show and da-da-da-da-da-da. So Pete, using his influence, was able to get them at the GH convention, and also were able to film a video with Maurice Bernard, which you all might have seen last year across social media, as he does a quick little scene with Vicky pretending to be a mob boss, and he gets down on his knees and listens to her, and it was cute. It was charming. It was beautiful.
It was cute.
We met them, and I got the phone number at the end. That's the story.
We always, when we get to go to those events, we always meet other fans that are, interesting and fun to be with.
Yeah.
We always do.
Yeah. Anyway, nobody cared about that. It's terrible that Ava's only concern, says Cindy, is very popular today when it comes to me reading her chats. It's terrible that Ava's only concern is trying to not get the blame. I think Trina saw it on her face when she looked up and saw her standing in the window. So yeah,
Yes.
like I was trying to get into a moment ago, this, years ago, this has come up before. You can't be friends with Ava. She's a betrayer. She's done horrible things, yada, 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 yada. And Trina was like, well, she hasn't done that to me. No, I haven't
Yes.
seen her do that. The Ava that I know is evolved. She's grown. She doesn't seem to be following that. She's running a gallery. She's...
But Ava in the past really has shown Trina only the good parts
Oh,
of
yeah.
herself.
Very much a second mom.
Yes, I think she almost tried with Trina. She loves Trina very much and thinks of her and really thinks of her in a mothering kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Trina has her own mom and
Yeah.
doesn't need Ava.
No.
Doesn't need Ava at all.
Anti-Ava.
Yeah. But she really does she really wants to be her mentor. She really wants to see Trina succeed.
Well, yeah.
She wants to show Trina what's with the good parts of herself. And she's almost, I think, has in the past trying to redeem her self through her guilt of what was going on with Kiki.
100%. So the whole relationship between Ava and Trina was launched after Kiki had passed away. Trina shows more interest in art. She comes to hang out at the gallery, and Ava latches onto this relationship with this young woman.
Which was just, and she was a teenager at the time.
Yeah, years younger
Still in high school.
than what Kiki was. But she felt she connected with Trina in the right way, in the right moment, during the right circumstances of her time, for Ava to kind of internalize Trina's success.
Yes.
To a point too where Portia and Ava even had conversations with each other, where Portia's like, she's got a mom, So all of that. But
and I think like a year or two ago, there was a time when Portia was a little jealous of their relationship.
to a degree.
To a degree, she was, and she also did not trust Ava either, because Ava has this terrible reputation, right?
Yeah, she shouldn't.
She didn't really trust her. She didn't really trust her to have any impressionable time with her daughter.
Melinda, hi Melinda. Yes, yeah, totally, 100%, 1000% with you on that. And this is going to be.
But I think Portia and Ava did come to an understanding, though, that they could tolerate each other.
Why take a loving, positive influence from Trina's life if we don't have to?
Right.
Was kind of the thing. Now, opinions will likely change, and it does seem like we had kind of started this conversation with. This is the first time, or one of the first times, that Trina is going to clearly see the other side of Ava. Now, remember, Trina is a gracious character. She gives space, big time. She gave a lot of space to Esme. She did not interfere with that whole Ace situation and the brother living with them and Spencer and yada yada.
You're right. She offers a lot of grace to people.
Yeah. Even to the point where she said where Esme was moving out finally or something, and then Trina's like, well, good, finally. But that was the only thing that she ever had to say.
Right.
So I think that kind of feeds into it. But now we're going to see, Trina now have to confront this. They are positioning Jocelyn to be a little bit more of an influential character across the show. Her opinions are mattering more. What she thinks about somebody is mattering more. She's influencing how people might be seeing and thinking about situations. She's the one in the pool fishing Christina out, being by her side in the ambulance, all that. You can see this evolution of Jocelyn continue.
I really want that swimsuit. I hope GH has some merch of Josh's swimsuit. I buy that sucker. I like that suit. I want to wear it.
Yeah,
I want that lifeguard
swimsuit.
Suit. I like it. And I want it to have a little MC on it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, right. There's a little white MC on the red. Oh, I love it. So, but with that, I think that now Jocelyn's more informed opinion of Ava's true history is going to now come about more in conversation with Trina, and it's going to influence how she thinks. She's going to see a little more truth or a little more current mind state about Ava.
And she could too. If Ava feels too much in a corner, like she's completely surrounded, things are falling in on her. She's completely surrounded. She's put in a corner. Ava will turn on Trina too, to save her own skin.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Chat's been going off. Thank you guys. Continue to use the chat. Continue to use the reaction button. Let's make this thing look like it's can't miss YouTube. There was something that came through. I'm not going to scroll. Oh no, what was I talking about? What were we talking about, Ma?
We've been talking about that window for a while now.
we were talking specifically about Trina's. It'll come to me again when I'm not thinking about it, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Joss was very slow. Everybody was shocked, Chandra. Plus, there was glass in the water. She can't just dive in.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this was the most unbelievable part of it.
Okay.
Okay, if you're in a hotel with a window accessible to a pool area, that window wouldn't open in a hotel.
Well, it didn't open. It shattered into a million pieces.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know.
I get what you're saying, though, and I tweeted the same thing. I said, I need somebody to call OSHA. Because I've got the New York Building and Safety Office on the line, and somebody needs to investigate the Metro Court, because there's no reason why, in the real world, Christina would have fallen out of that window. It would have been double paned and strong and reinforced and all that to avoid something like this.
Exactly.
But it's not the real world. It's so bland, where code is a little lax.
So I can forgive that nonsense.
Oh yeah, plus, if
I could look past a lot of soap operas. Silliness. I sure can.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Oh gosh, I'm trying to find that thing, but it's not there. Whatever. I think you're right, Jeannie, says Rochelle, and I love to see that. So good job. Buildings don't have the option to open big windows, says Wolfgang. Yeah. And this totally fake, phony nonsense that would never happen in the real world, which is what makes so fun.
Well, actually, though, when it comes to like the fall and stuff and her getting in the water and stuff, that didn't look too bad.
No, they did.
It looked pretty good.
Pretty good for one shot too, because they have to pay the stunt person, as we learned from Steve Burton, for every time they do the stunt, and so they're like, "You're going to jump in this pool once, okay?"
Yeah.
Because we don't want to pay you double.
I'm sure they probably had a backup window. They had to, just in case something went kooky. Mm-hmm. But for GH, they're going to try. It doesn't matter how complex the scene is. It doesn't matter how simple the scene is. They're going to try their best to do that mess once.
Oh gosh, Cindas wonders if Wiley's birthday was still happening. I don't think so. I think that party was over, because I don't remember. I don't remember, because they had specific like blue decoration and stuff.
They had like a sea decoration.
Yeah, and all of that
wasn't and balloons and everything, blue and waves.
Yeah, and that didn't seem to still be up.
No, I think when this happened, it was over. Thank goodness, because they would be traumatized.
That's what Cinda says. The kids would have been traumatized.
Exactly.
Well, the two kids that were there, Wiley and like Avery, I think that was like the only kids that they actually showed.
Yeah, I don't think I think that party was over, and there was just, it was chit-chatty time.
Yeah,
the decorations were gone, because they showed us a lot of chit-chatty time, and there was Natasha sitting there, Natalia sitting there with Blaze and with Brooklyn, and,
so many witnesses.
A ton of witnesses. That pool deck was full.
Same thing with the Carly thing last week, when she essentially gave herself to Jagger. Like, there were hella witnesses for that too. Thank you very much for your contribution to the show, Rochelle. That's your 5th super channel live stream. Thank you. Thank you for doing it 5 times. We're not deserving, but we'll take it anyway. Wolfgang says it's an award-winning scene. Well, maybe they'll submit it for director. Like or best show, best director category, whatever it is for the Emmys that are coming up.
That's a good idea. That's definitely real worthy. It is.
Oh my goodness. Christina, Rochelle says Christina did a double pirouette and then a swan dive.
Now, the only thing that would have been a little bit interesting if Molly or TJ would have actually been there by chance.
Well,
I'm speaking, and I
so
just
busy.
thought of TJ being a doctor. Okay, I thought Jocelyn and Gio did a great job, but I was yelling at Jocelyn, "Flip her over! She can't breathe."
Jocelyn knows what she's doing, okay? The problem isn't necessarily that Christina went a-tumbling and landed in water. The problem is she's bleeding profusely on the inside of her body from a ruptured placenta.
Yes.
So that's
the baby's got to be born emergency C-section.
This baby's got to come out, and there's only one person who can do it, and it's me, John Black. All right, get ready here.
Well, Jack of all trades doctor don't work there anymore, which is Finn.
That's right. For a viral disease specialist or whatever he was.
He was doing all kinds of things for everything. A viral disease specialist.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lee, for your contribution to the super chat. My goodness, again, we're not deserving, but keep it coming, everybody.
Yeah, but I loved it, and I can't wait to see what happens. And let's talk a little bit about the fuss and fight that came up to the window, because Christina was telling her, "Oh, you're going to put me on the stand and make me say this and make me say that? We're going to talk about everything you've done. We're going to talk about."
So earlier in the week, she gets the subpoena from the court, and Scotty's all like,
"We're going to get her. We're going to get her, Ava. Don't worry about it. We're going to compel her. We're going to compel her to testify. You're going to get your baby."
Right? Thank you very much, Lee. He said he likes my impressions.
I like his impressions too.
John Black is not appropriate for this show.
But he's so fun to do.
So fun to do. And GH is not offering me very many voices recently.
No.
In any case, so she gets this subpoena, and she immediately is like, "WTF is this SHIT?" And she marches over to Molly, who's like the closest geographic lawyer to her. She's like, "Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Molly, I don't want to argue about this baby right now. What I need to talk to you is about my dad." Well,
And actually, Molly was able to do that and kind of put that aside and really help her and talk to her.
It's a great thing they're able to show that Molly is able to turn her lawyer switch on like Alexis can.
Yep.
Where she's able to push everything aside and just talk about the law.
Now that you mentioned that, Molly is turning into a little Alexis Jr. sometimes.
Yeah.
And just like Josh can tap into being Carly like that.
Yeah. Really, I know that that the audience and the fan base in General Hospital has been rocked with opinions about cast changes, especially when it comes to the Davis girls. But when you get new people playing the roles, you get a new opportunity to take things in directions that are different than what the previous actors were able to bring. And I'm not even saying, well, this one's better than that one, this one's more talented than that one, that's a B-, that's an A+. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that everybody's different. Everybody has different strengths. And it's entirely possible that Kristen Baliagos, I think her name is really good at being an Alexis-type character.
Well, I think the combination they have right now for the Davis girls is spot on.
Top notch, really. And also, I got to give GH credit for this too, because it's another thing that gets commented on. It's the fact that we've talked about it too. Sam and Dante, they share Christina as a sister.
Sam and they share Leo as a sibling.
And Christina.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they do.
Because Christina's mom is Alexis, and her dad is Sonny. Sonny is Dante's dad, and Alexis is Sam's mom. So they share Christina, a sibling as well. And the point,
and then they share Leo too.
Right now, here's the thing, Ma. You didn't think of it, because the show has gone to exceptional, careful lengths to not remind us of this fact. To the point where Christina falls in the pool and he goes, "I need to tell Sonny, not my girlfriend who's her sister.
Right.
I need to tell my dad."
Yes.
Because in the world of Port Charles, when it comes to the relationship of Dante and Sam, they don't share Christina as a sibling. They do, but they don't at the same time. There's never going to be a moment where Dante talks to Sam about their shared sister.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to shut a door, okay?
Okay. There's going to be no time in which that happens, and there's going to be no time in which he goes, "All right, well, I need to call my dad and also Christina's sister, my girlfriend." They're not going to do that. They're not going to remind us of that. Yeah, and Leo too, of course. And honestly, I have to give them credit for their ability to avoid it in a way that isn't completely distracting. Because I didn't think about the fact that he didn't tell Sam until somebody else pointed it out. You didn't even think about the fact that they shared Christina as a sister because they go to such length to not showcase that. And it takes purposeful positioning and careful line writing.
That's true.
In order to make that happen. So really, like, you, whether or not you like the choice, you have to give them credit for their ability to pull it off.
Yeah, like Sam, Sam could say, "Hey, I need to call my sister," and he could say, "Yours or ours?"
Right. They're not going to do that.
No.
So anyway, the newest Davis girls have worked just fine, says Lee. Yeah, yeah. They did not drop the ball on that.
No, I think this Molly is the one to hang on to.
Yeah, and this is the Christina to hold on to as well. Wolfgang loves Christina so much. Wolfgang also says, I'm worried that if Christina, it goes into a coma. And Molly and TJ begin to raise the baby, and then Christina wakes up. What is that going to mean?
Well, hopefully she'll have amnesia and she won't remember she had the baby.
Maybe she'll wake up and be like, "Oh, my stomach is flat. Oh, how weird." This is the event that is changing the stories. How it's going to change the stories, I couldn't tell you with any sort of certainty because I'm not back there. I don't work there. I've never had the conversation.
You guys, I can't wait for Sonny to realize that, find out that Eva is really the cause of this.
We got Brick taking pictures, okay?
We do.
All right. It is to be assumed that the camera shutter was Brick because earlier in the episode of the previous day or something, Sonny was like, "We're going to get Brick to do surveillance."
Yeah, and he talked to Brick and he was telling him to take pictures of everything.
Right? So we get to presume that it's Brick. And from Brick's angle of the photos, it's going to look like Ava shoved Christina out of the window.
Yes. And she messed everything up in the room, so she can't even, she moved everything. So the duffel bag's gone. Trying to put those lame shoes down there.
Yes. Oh, to finish this off here for Michelle, Dante and Sam, they share Christina through their mother and father, and they share Leo through their father and mother. So each of their parents had a baby with each of their parents.
Yes.
Giving them two siblings that they share, but not from the same two parents.
It's very well finessed.
It's one of the most complicated family dynamics on soap history, I'm sure.
It's the closest they've got to my own grandpa so far.
So far, many years ago when I was 23. Newcomers to Port Charles need to take DNA tests before dating anyone.
Right?
So this is why we have Geo.
Well, okay, compare 23 and me. Okay, now
okay, all right. You gotta go into ancestry.com in order to link all of those tree branches together. So that's why we have characters like Geo. Why we have characters like, even though Geo is likely going to be a Quartermain before too long, Cody, Sasha, Willow. Like, these are the characters that come from different family trees in order to continue to bring us some genetic diversity.
Yeah,
and
create a new family tree for us as well.
Potentially. You know, we have the whole Ashford Robinsons that have shown up over the last couple of years because we needed a family. And we can't have the Wards because the Wards are practically Quartermains.
And they're practically all passed away as well.
Too, you know? So it's you know, they made it happen. Also, Sam was pregnant by Sonny, and if baby Lila had survived, then Dante would be brother to the daughter she had with his father.
Yes!
Listen, there is a number of issues that came up when it came to Dante and Sam's relationship, but all of it has to do with the choices that their parents made, not them.
Exactly.
So, and plus, they didn't, well, they come together when they're adults, they didn't live together. They didn't even know who their parents were until they were 30.
No, exactly. It's not like they, played with Play-Doh and Hot Wheels together.
Exactly. Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. 21. Scotty's still technically related to the Canes. Let's see. How could he still be technically related to the Canes? So the Kane is a fake last name. Kane is like the adopted name for Drew. It's the name he got after he got shoved down the stairs by Franco and had to leave the house. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I guess the Quartermains. I don't really know of a connection between Scotty and the Quartermains. He's never like, he doesn't have a kid with Monica. You know what I mean? I don't think I can't even recall anybody telling me about times in which he was involved with the Quartermains, because he's definitely been linked to the Spencers and such.
Yeah, but I don't, there's been a lot of
for
shows.
60 years. And Ken Schreiner just celebrated his like 45th anniversary or 55th anniversary or something.
Yeah, he's been on since 1977. So Scotty has had a lot of time to do some scandalous things.
Oh yeah. There have to be wards that are still alive. Yes, Kay Disciple. Of course, there are still wards that are still alive, just not ones that we know.
Yes, Justice's sister is still alive. I don't remember her name. Justice's sister is still alive. Of course, his mom, Mary, is gone, and Justice himself is gone too.
Right. Much to the chagrin of poor Edward Quartermain.
Yes,
because Justice was Alan's brother. Right? Because Edward had a secretary or a fling or a vacation or somebody in another city or something.
Mary May was Justice's mom, and I think that Edward had a fling with her.
Yeah.
A secretive fling.
It's all fake, bro. I don't know what that means, Rachel. Of course it's all fake. Of course. It's just television.
Exactly.
Melinda says, like my dad and my aunt's husband's sister. Having two children with my dad, but they never got married, and she gave the boy away, and she never knew her older sister. Same thing with Sam and Dante. Boom. Maya Ward, says Chandra, and then there should be one.
There you go.
Yes. Keisha brought Jason into man. Remember, folks, it wasn't Elizabeth, it wasn't Emily, it was Keisha.
I remember Keisha too.
Justice's dad was Edward's son. Okay. Justice was Hey, Daisy. All right, got it. Justice was the grandson.
Dad. So Justice was Edward's grandson.
Yes.
It was a long time, you guys. That was decades ago.
Decades ago, and the Ward family hasn't been on in the entire time that I
remember. Mary May was very, very good friends with Laura.
Oh, well, that's why you remember her so much, because Laura and Carly are your two ladies. When it comes to memories, you're going to remember what Laura and Carly did over anything else.
True. That's true.
Yeah. Edward and Mary May's son was Bradley, says Daisy. Great.
Justice was the grandchild.
And Kay Disciple loved our reference to my own grandpa. A long-running joke for us. I don't know who originated that song. I know that, who's that weed-smoking country guy with the beard?
Willie Nelson?
Yeah, Willie Nelson. He sang a version of that song.
Oh, did he?
Before the Stupids.
Know that. I thought maybe Arnold actually wrote it. I didn't know.
So with that song,
I don't know.
My Own Grandpa was introduced to our family through a little movie called The Stupids, starring Tom Arnold, of all things, which is a great, awesome movie. And if you have a negative opinion of Tom Arnold, get over it. He's grown as a human being quite a bit. Anyway, hilarity, top of the line, funny family movie. It's not gross, it's not over the top, there's no swearing. They are wholesome, stupid family. It's called The Stupids. And another movie that's ridiculous too, that it is entertaining, is Ridiculousness. Yes. Ridiculousness is what?
But what the hell is that movie called?
I don't know. Ridiculousness is an MTV TV show about YouTube videos.
No.
Idiocracy?
Yes,
that's the one you're talking about.
Idiocracy. Oh my gosh,
that's a good one. Yes, Grandpa Jones did that song, says Lee. Okay. But it was on the Stupids, and it was a talk show thing, like an old like Phil Donahue type of setup, and the talk show was here were people with strange lives, and Stanley Stupid, as played by Tom Arnold, finds himself in the show by accident. They sit him in the chair, and they're like, "Well, what's your thing?" And he goes, I'm my own grandpa." And then the host is like, "How? What? That doesn't make any sense." And he goes, "Well, many years ago when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as can be. This widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon they two were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. For my daughter was my mother, 'cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. This little baby then became a brother-in-law to dad, and soon became my uncle, though it made me very sad. For if he were my uncle, then I've also made him brother to my widow's grown-up daughter, who of course is my stepmother. I'm my own grandpa." Anyway.
And how he remembers that so easily and with no effort is beyond me.
I translated it into sign language for a project in high school. And so I have listened to that song 10,000 times.
And you got A+E++ on that.
Well, you know, it was easy. A+ in sign language. Miss Perez was very kind. Anyway. His name was Bradley. It was thought that Edward had murdered him. That's when it revealed that Edward was his dad and not his murderer. Lee says you're going to have to pay some royalties on that one, Matt. I didn't have any music. It was just me and my acapella rendition. It's a cover, right? You're not going to pay somebody for a cover, do you? Do you? Hi, Liz.
Hey, every time someone sings karaoke.
Yeah, right? You know, I mean, it was just acapella. That's what it is. Oh, thanks, Chandra. Chandra says we're not going to tell.
Okay, goody. She is a moderator, by the way.
Hey, Dr. Demento Radio Show. I don't know what that means. L&B Records, Mom. Let's talk about the revival of L&B. So they haven't named it, right? It's not L&B yet.
No, they haven't named it.
But it's gonna be. It has to be Lois and Brooklyn Records, right? L&B.
You would think so.
Right?
But they haven't really said for sure that Lois is going to have a lot to. She wants to have a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But and she is a wealth of knowledge for her daughter. She is, because she's done it before.
Yeah.
This is also really ripe for, and I don't know that this is going to happen, but I wonder if Miss Marcella is going to come back on the show and be Vanessa.
Why do you say that?
Because she's the original L&B.
Oh, the original B.
And the reason why, the reason why I say that is because she was at the convention this weekend and was part of it a little bit.
Okay. Well, do you know what panel?
Huh?
Do you know what panel?
It was her and Maurice.
Oh, that actually could be a signal, Mother.
That's what I was thinking.
Goodness. Remember when, I mean, you got to pay attention to some of these things. All right, you do. And usually it does feed into something else. For example, Michael E. Knight showing up on That's Awesome, I guess is what it was called at the time. Talking to Stephen Bradford. It was just, our friend that we know from Soap Opera Weekend, Super Soap Weekend. Me and Mike, we've always got along. He comes on the show. Here we are 2 weeks later. Clearly he's already filmed on General Hospital. And Michael E. Knight walks in. Hello, I'm a Kentucky lawyer, Kentucky Fried Lawyer. Which I miss so much.
I do too.
So maybe, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? Oh my goodness. I saw that, Mama Cat, says Chandra. Ooh.
Never know.
I'm on board. Here's the thing.
Greg Vaughn was also there too.
So what I said on Thursday, check out the skinny dip, as we barely talked about the Spencers. I said that the whole Christina falling out of window thing, and then what is bound to be the aftermath when it comes to Ava's fallout, Natalia's change of heart. Natalia's change of heart. Listen, I didn't agree with her lifestyle, but I didn't want anybody to fall out of a friggin' window.
No, and I think everything that she witnesses on the 10th floor with her daughter, and with this baby being born, and in Christina and being in bad condition, and the baby having to be born, I think she is going to see so much true love, real kindness in her daughter, her concern, that she is going to see past through all the garbage she's layered on top of it, be able to peel all that back and see the genuine relationship of these two women that love each other deeply.
I also think that this is going to move Christina beyond I should keep this baby. Not because, my life is too dangerous, or, you know, something like this might happen to me again and I can't trust myself. No, it's okay, stuff is really real right now. This is less about, oh, what if you break up? Well, what if, like, this is literally life and death. We as a trio almost lost this baby.
Yes.
And that might waken up something. It might not drive a stake further. It might make things more uncomfortable. It could unite Molly and Christina against TJ. Because TJ, listen, folks, I know that there's a lot of commentary out there over TJ and his meanness and how he's acting about people. And hello.
Someone come here to get her dog.
Hi, you're going to come pick up Banner? Awesome. Well, it's good to see you.
Love you, baby. We're still doing this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I love you. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye.
So, this might, you know, because TJ is very focused on his anger and anxiety and fear over everything that's going on. It's very clear and very apparent. What he had to say to Alexis this week was pretty intense. Right or wrong, agree with him or don't. You know, it's kind of a valid observation.
Well, TJ is the one that, man, I think his rights are being violated the worst, actually.
I mean, so yes and no, because no matter how they cut things between Molly and Christina, TJ is always going to be that baby's dad.
Exactly.
So they can't, like, sign something to take TJ's rights away. You know, like, he's always going to have a connection to this baby. So he is sort of the most securely invested in the future of this child legally than anybody else.
It's true, but what he was saying to Alexis is also true. Typically, when there's some kind of custody battle over an infant, the courts sometimes automatically side with the mother.
Sometimes, absolutely. I think that the big wrench in that, now this is so planned it doesn't follow the real world expectations of things. So whatever the court decides is going to be whatever needs to support their story going forward. But I would think and hope that if this custody hearing were to go on, they can be like, so she's pregnant because she said she was going to be a surrogate. I understand that we didn't sign anything, but she knows, we know, and the entire city knows that she did this to be the surrogate for us. I understand that legally the biological mother has rights, but she's not supposed to be the mother.
No, but like TJ said, though, and like Alexis said, I'm sorry, TJ, but it's the law. She was just trying to...
Yes. No, I get it.
Not having an opinion of how it should turn out, but just telling him, but this is what the law says.
Yes, yeah.
And I tried to tell you guys this 7 months ago.
Oh, so that's the best you had to say, is I told you so.
Ugh.
I mean, I understood why TJ said the things that he did. I really do, but they should have made her sign something as soon as she had a cross on that stick. As soon as that showed a positive.
Well, it wasn't contagious like
documents.
this. It's fine. We can trust her, is what they had said about that.
No.
Alexis and Jordan were practically standing there with printed papers in their hands saying, yo, do this. And they said, nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And, it's so deep
and they
late.
never thought it was a good idea. Alexis really never thought it was a good idea and told everybody involved it wasn't a good idea.
She point blank straight up said, Molly, if you go through with this is going to be Christina and TJ's baby. She said that as clear as day.
Mhm.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I mean, I understand why Molly, especially since the first surrogate thing didn't work out well. I understand why she wanted her sister to do it, because the baby would biologically be related to her at least,
right.
just like TJ.
Yes.
Even though it's the closest thing that she could possibly have, because they had shared the mother and their dads are brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Molly and Christina's DNA is not that different.
It's not that different. No, not at all. No. I mean, it's a little bit more different than straight up siblings, but it's still very close.
Yeah. But it was that was messy. The whole thing was messy, and it turned out to be now, all these months later, messed up.
Chandra says, well, nobody thought it was a good idea.
No.
It's true. So even TJ didn't think it was a good idea. He just wasn't strong enough in his language to really put his foot down.
You guys, I actually know a brother and sister that thought about doing this. The brother was going to be a donor for his sister.
Mm-hmm.
For his sister to have. Anyway, it got all
crazy.
Yeah, it got all crazy. So it was a very similar kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And they woke up and smelled the coffee and thought, maybe this will be complicated, not a good idea.
Maybe we try to do it. But hey, that's real world, real thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wolfgang lighting the chat on fire with this statement. After all of this, I think Christina deserves this baby. Oh boy. What do you think, Ma? Do you think Christina has a claim? A real claim to it?
She probably does. Do I think she should have a claim to it? As an aunt, yes.
But not a mother.
Not a mother. Because
to me, now, Wolfgang, you think whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong.
No.
Because you can think of whatever you want. I don't care. But I think that it all just goes to the original reason why she's pregnant. She wouldn't be pregnant if it wasn't to give this baby to them.
Right.
And they really haven't done anything to not be good parents.
No.
Anyway, that's just my thought.
That whole they might break up thing was all crap from Christina.
I mean, to a degree, but also at the same time, not, because there was real tension between TJ and Molly at the time.
Any couple might break up someday.
What if TJ dies tomorrow? What if he gets hit by a car?
Any couple might break up someday. I've been married 44 years. I don't know what's going to freaking happen tomorrow.
I need this baby to be in a more secure home with me, because me and Blaze will never break up.
Exactly.
Being pregnant changed things, says Wolfgang.
You're right. You're right. It absolutely did change things. And Christina kept on saying that she's not gonna have a she kind of thought of herself as just a receptacle at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just gonna hatch this baby for y'all.
But then she bonded with the baby.
But then, and her mom tried to warn her of that too.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna, in 9 months of you bringing life into the world, you're going to have a stronger connection than you assume.
Exactly.
Christina having second thoughts, says Chandra, coming to us with the wisdom. Christina's having second thoughts plays into the flakiness and the attributes of her character. Folks have contracts for a reason. It's true. I think, Chandra, you're totally right. They constantly talk about how Christina is this, that, and the other thing. She's a wild child. She's untrustworthy, unreliable. Well, we couldn't do it anyway because of her lifestyle, because she's this, that, and the other. And now here we are manifesting that. Where, she did go back on her word, or she is trying to, or she's in a position where she could go back on her promise.
And we knew from the very beginning, since we are watching soap opera, we knew from the very beginning this was going to get muddy.
Yeah.
We knew it. It had to.
Yeah. Hello, Jess.
And I do think they're going to wind up fighting in court. I do. And I think that's part of the reason why Rick Lansing will.
Oh, yeah. And that's 100%.
On canvas.
100%. That's why. 100% that's why.
I'm sure you all know Rick Lansing's on his way back. Molly's.
Oh, yeah. You talked about it last week. Jess says she's also in a relationship now, so that might have changed her thinking too, referring to Christina and Blaze starting a relationship after Christina gets pregnant. There was moments, there was a couple of week, 2 weeks or whatever, where they just fantasized. Well, what if this was our baby? Did it. And that kind of pushed Christina's mindset a little bit into, well, I mean, this could be our baby.
Mm-hmm. But what it could have done as well, and it didn't, is they could have like, well, after I have this baby and Molly and TJ are able to take their child home, maybe this is something we should revisit for us.
Well, that's the smart way of thinking things. We're not going to think a smart way.
No. At least the boredom on the TV.
Oh, my, yes. Like, oh, look at all these people making the right choices for their lives. How interesting. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at Cameron. What about Cameron, Jeannie? Let me read this a little bit. Christina,
I tell you what, though, that pool's messed up. The worst thing you can have a pool owner, the worst thing you can have in your stinking pool is some glass. Broken glass.
Yeah.
So I see somebody with a glass, any kind of receptacle glass around my pool. I'm ready. Like, you better bend over because this glass has to have a place other than my pool, and it ain't supposed to be over here on this deck.
No, siree, Bob Charlie. Christina isn't ready to be a mother. Blaze said she isn't ready to be a mom. I agree with that. I don't think she needs to have this baby. I mean, that's just my thought. I think she should give it to Molly and DJ. That's all. Enjoyed Rick Hurst as Alan Michael Spaulding on Guiding Light as well. Okay. Didn't watch him really much any Guiding Light. Yeah.
I really watched the other networks that much decades ago. I was an ABC girl.
Let's see. Surrogates have been around now for over 30 years. Contracts are always in place no matter who is the donor, says Jeannie. Yes, if you go through a surrogacy agency. But if you say, hey, TJ, can you just give me a vial of your juice? Ain't no contract needed for that. I don't think that's what they did on the show, but I think that's kind of like the spirit of what happened. Like, they went to a doctor. The general hospital helped. But the spirit of it was they just took DJ stuff and had a baby with it.
Right. And when you talk about the real world, that's probably not something a medical place would even do.
No. If this were to happen in the real world, then, okay. All right. You want a more close to realistic storyline? Christina's not a lesbian. She's a bisexual. The last relationship she was in was with a woman. Mm-hmm. So there's room for her to be in a connection with a dude. Mm-hmm. A more realistic and maybe more interesting storyline would have been, well, TJ, I guess she's ovulating. Go ahead and do the business because we want to have this baby. Mm-hmm. They keep doing the business. Now, well, this is our baby. Me and TJ, we like each other. We get along. This is our kid. Like, there's, sorry, Molly, but hearts have moved on.
If there was a real life Sister Wives, I'd have died.
Not real life Sister Wives. No, there was a drive a wedge, terrible rivalry, all that sort of.
Yes, I know.
and it's not TJ cheating. I mean, this was just a scientific thing because we've established the fact that Molly is really like black and white and gray and is able to section things. Compartmentalize was the word I was looking for inside of her mind. So I could totally see Molly compartmentalizing and logically saying, okay, well, it's quick, it's cheap, it's affordable. They could just get it done real quick. Go and just do it the natural way. I can see her compartmentalizing that, but that's not the direction we went. So we're just spinning in falsehoods and fakeness. But it might have been interesting.
But yeah, I think they're going to have to do that C-section on Monday. Mm-hmm. And my prediction is the baby is a boy.
Okay. I'm with it.
Because Gage just hasn't had a boy in a minute.
Well, the last boy they had was little Liam.
Yeah.
I don't recognize TJ anymore, says Cindas. They've changed his personality along with some of the other characters on the show. Yeah, it's just a new writing team. New writing team.
I think they're just trying to grow TJ up, really.
And this is an intense moment for him. We also have to keep in mind that he is the only biological connection to the previous loss of a baby. Whether or not you believe this baby has passed away before with the miscarriage with the original surrogate, whether or not you believe it, doesn't matter. From TJ's point of view, he has already lost one kid in this process.
Can you imagine Yes, he has. Can you imagine that first surrogate comes off the 10th floor elevators with her little, yeah.
Little girl, hello, hi, this is your daughter.
Yeah. Or she comes, she comes walking by the 10th floor, and TJ had been standing there doing some work at the nurse's station. There she walks by with her biracial baby, and he's like, what's going on?
And then when it comes to TJ's relationship with Sonny and his opinions about this, that, and the other thing, even though Sonny put him through medical school and blah 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 blah, it's been 1,000 years. People change, people grow up, people look for different things. I had a best friend in the whole world when I was in high school that I never flip and talk to today. Life changes.
It does.
Life changes. Your thoughts change, your opinions change, your feelings change, people change, all sorts of stuff changes. So TJ is perfectly within the right to be like, Sonny's a bad influence and I don't want him around my kid. Perfectly within his right for that. So,
yeah, he is perfectly within his rights for that. But going along with the mob boss's daughter carrying his infant is probably a bad idea.
Right. Like this just, maybe I should have said a little more things before we did this, is what I'm thinking as TJ. Kid Disciple says, they barely had time to grieve the first baby. It's true. That happened, and TJ was like, I don't know if I want to do this right away. And Molly's like, put a baby in my sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Like,
okay.
I mean, all of it's there. It hasn't been the most cohesive story, but all of the elements are there. You just kind of string them along yourself.
Gracious.
Blaze and Christina are more likely to break up. They probably will at some point. I don't think it's coming in the next couple of weeks, though.
No. I think they'll have to get past this hurdle and stuff, and probably actually the relationship will probably bond tighter for a while. But yeah, does anybody stay together?
No. Even Lois has concerns about BLQ getting financing from Uncle Dimple/Sonny. So back to that topic, which we totally fell off of.
Yeah. Because
it's all connected in the great circle of General Hospital this week. Like, really, all of this stuff is very connected with each other. Yeah. So here's the thing I've noticed about this week. People, Lois and one other person, I think it was Dante, are both getting no medicated Sonny reactions to what they're doing. And both of them are like, I'm not falling for this trick, you ass.
Exactly.
Dante and Lois were both like, cut the shit, Sonny. Okay,
Exactly.
We're talking about other stuff right now.
They were like, Lois really like, what? She just went Bensonhurst on him and said, shut the F up.
Just shut up, Sonny. Okay. So you could talk to my accountant. So just keep your blood money out of this thing, all right? I don't want Brooklyn to be wrapped up in all your nonsense. I need this to actually be a record label and not a laundering thing for your criminal activity.
Exactly.
And he's like, you can trust me. You talk to my accountant, all that kind of stuff. I think Sonny's being totally genuine with it. He's not he's putting together a legitimate business. He put together a legitimate youth home for Christina.
I think so too.
But it's him buying their loyalty.
Yes. But, the way he reacted with Lois was really kind of, he's reacted the same way he does with everybody with Lois. So you're trying to portray me. You don't, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But she said so little. His reaction with other people was seemed a little more natural because, but with Lois, I mean, she barely said anything to him before he was like, you're betraying me.
Well, he went from having 25% medication to 0% medication. So that's having an effect.
Mm-hmm. And that dang Jagger knows that and then goes and lays down with Ava.
Well, Jagger is full-fledged villain now. There's no gray area. There's no immoral righteousness that's a good phrase. I need to write that down. There's no immoral righteousness for Jagger anymore. Because he came in and he was like, I'm going to get Sonny down. This is about the mafia, Pikeman Sonny down in one fell swoop. And now he's just changed quite a bit to somebody who's solely focused, kind of with a vindictive nature. I'm going to take this man down. with not a whole lot of evolution or arc in the character from where he started to where he is now. But again, like we said on Thursday, hopefully Christina falling out of the window is an indication of the calming of the choppy waters that is the creative process of General Hospital. Because as we said over the last couple of weeks, couple of months really, every 3 months they have somebody new in charge making choices. Every 3 months, every 3 months, every 3 months.
Settle it down now.
Can't settle it, can't settle it. We got into a little bit more detail on Thursday, so go ahead and check out that video for the full explanation. But I'm hoping that this moment is like the moment where Cordy is like, this is now where I'm taking over. This moment is now going to push Natalia here. It's going to push Sunny and Ava here. It's going to position this family there. We, excuse me, we have all these witnesses from all across the cast.
And Trina wound up seeing two things that she's got underneath her hat, really. She told everybody already, well, not everybody, but she did let people know she saw Ava in the window.
Yeah.
She has not let everybody know that she saw Jagger and Italia.
Not yet, no. And then the question came through, how come Ava moved Jagger's bag? Is because she doesn't want anybody to know that Jagger is wrapped around her little fingers, because she needs to use that. And if people know that they have slept together, then they're not going to be able to trust what Jagger's up to when it comes to this situation. She can still manipulate it in her favor if nobody knows.
She's looking for Jagger to help her with her Avery case. She don't want anybody to know she's been wrapped around him.
Totally. Didn't want anybody to know. She's like, you're walking through here parading in a towel. He's like, you didn't tell me you had guests. My thought was, you didn't hear them talking, Jagger?
Right? Or perhaps since it is her room, that you shouldn't be just tramping around.
Maybe you should put a shirt on before just walking into the living space.
Yeah, or maybe like putting a glass to the door.
Just old Quartermain style. But with that, the choppy waters settling down, maybe this is an indication of Cordy's full control over the creative process and ongoing stories of GH. Also lends maybe some credence into, we do have the Rick Lansing and the Jonathan Jackson returning. We know that this is kind of an exciting sort of almost revival of some of the stuff from yesteryear, especially when it comes to the characters that are involved. I think that maybe there isn't something to ignore when it comes to a return of Brenda. Given the landscape and what they're trying to recapture and the type of stories that they're looking to try to tell, it seems, we're not back there, we don't have meetings, it seems. But it seems as though they're trying to kind of recapture some of that exciting 2000s feeling.
And we don't know, maybe bringing Brenda back. If Brenda came back, maybe that could have something to do with Gio as well.
Potentially. Good. Absolutely. I mean, she does slide right into General Hospital pretty easily. And when it comes to Vanessa Marcel, too, you could have her for 12 months, just a year contract. Maximize that really well. And I think it might actually be pretty good. I don't know, there's a number of people out there that don't have any faith in General Hospital anymore, but I'm not one of them.
And there's a lot of folks out there. That they loved the Sunny and Brenda.
Yes. Well, even Maurice Bernard loved the Sunny and Brenda.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. That makes sense, Mama Cat. LOL, Mama Cat. Look at you, you're popular. One note Johnny. He'll just be a bad guy when it comes to Jagger. The question was, well, what are they going to do with Jagger? He's on contract. One of two things. The show, every 6-8 months, 4 months, something like that, and the actor can both sit down and say, you want to keep doing this? And if the show says, nah, then that's it. And if the actor goes, nah, then that's it. So it's entirely possible that Jagger's run might be a little bit shorter than they intended. Secondly, he's still in the FBI. And Anna just discovered Brennan back with the WSB. Seemingly, is he in charge? He's at least in a high position.
Yes.
A high enough position for the WSB to purge that record entirely. As if he had never left the WSB. Like he was on some sort of secret assignment.
And I think when it comes to those two characters, Brennan and Jagger, because they kind of came on around the same time, I think Brennan kind of caught some fire and Jagger did with the audience.
Yeah, I would say that. Also, intention as well. Because like we said, the Jagger The Jagger stuff has changed quite a bit. People liked his bringing up of the old stuff that Sonny did. The issue with the original writing of Jagger is Sonny can't survive it. Because he knows too much about Sonny's history. He's got a personal tie into things that Sonny has done. He's decided now that this is when Sonny goes down. How do you beat that? You can't. And if you're going to...
Jagger's done some dirty things, coming into town. He came in there dirty. He came in there, he misled Jason from the get-go. Jason didn't remember him, and they had this huge history together.
Right. Now, that became a lot more nefarious now than it had... It kind of originally started with Jagger just didn't tell him, so he didn't complicate the... Like, Jason doesn't know who I am. He doesn't need to know who I am if he doesn't remember me. But it didn't seem to be anything more nefarious than, I don't need to complicate this.
Right.
Now it's a little more like, I was cute and now I'm forcing him because he's Sonny's man, and like it's a little more evil than it had been.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. K Disciple says 3 year. So he might have been signed to a 3-year contract, Jagger. I have no clue the length of the original term, but I know that there are ways for them to end it early if they so choose.
Sure there is.
So I don't know if that's the case though. Who knows what's going to open up in Jagger's skeleton closet. Like we're gonna need a newish villain to stick around if Ava's on the way out. So,
and if they keep Jagger around, I want them to bring his son Stone.
Yeah.
See some Stone. They mentioned him over and over.
Yeah, they mentioned him a few times. Oh, we'll see. Let's see. Sonny will have those pics of Ava, Kate, and Christy, but they were taken illegally, so I don't know how that'll be handled. Not by the law. This is Sonny we're talking about, Sindus.
Oh, Sonny.
He's going to shoot her.
He's going to take her to the Pine Barrens for those photos.
He's not going to get her arrested. He's going to drag her out to the Pine Barrens. Jason's going to be out there digging a hole. Jason's going to be like, listen, Sonny, I know that we don't get along, but I knew that this was what you were going to do. So here I am doing my thing as I always do, Sonny. Boom, like, no, this isn't going to be something that's argued in the courts. This is going to be, we find Ava with her neck snapped somewhere.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a yesteryear kind of thing, okay? Sonny will shoot Jagger in the back and it'll go right through him and strike Ava in the head.
While she's giving birth to another baby. Jagger's baby.
Oh, God.
Sonny can be such a brat, especially when he doesn't have medicine.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Lithium takes those extremes away from Sonny. That's why he's so chill. After they gave him the bipolar storyline and he started taking lithium, Maurice Bernard, being a big advocate of bipolar and accuracy on TV and yada 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 yada, would know.
I tell you though,
that
Maurice knows how to.
Yeah, well, he's had a lot of experience.
Since he has lived it. He knows what it is to be bipolar, and he's still bipolar. You don't become non-bipolar; you just become medicated.
Yeah.
Maurice does a great job at that because my gosh, he's been that way before.
Yeah. Daisy says Ava will go on the run. You know what, Daisy? I think that GH is going for bigger swings.
I think so too.
I think they're going for bigger swings right now. So it's a different thing for somebody to just skip town versus getting what's coming to them.
I think they could just have Ava take off, but I think a climactic kind of
confrontation,
almost Claudia kind of exit is on deck this time.
Yeah.
Claudia's exit was wow.
Was epic.
Yes, it was.
So I think they're looking to take some bigger swings with that. So I think, I think we're gonna get something pretty intense and amazing. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. It's been a good week. It was a good week on Days. It was a good week on General Hospital. Like I said, I was hoping that those creative waters are calming and we're gonna be able to get like real exciting progression in these stories, and that's not so weird and random.
It is very, very obvious to all of us. General Hospital is currently on a pivot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Pivoting away from whatever it is that Chris and Dan were up to, and now looking at down the barrel of a whole new gun. Whole new one. So I'm with it. I'm here for it. I like it. I'm interested in seeing what continues to happen. I thought that this week too did a really good job of just focusing on a large portion of the cast, but also an important portion of the cast.
And I thought this week also showed us just a very, very minute inkling toward Jason and Sunny being the way they used to be.
Oh yeah. That's
Definitely right there.
oh yeah, that's coming. That is
And
coming.
Jagger even told him, and I'm going to get the other two as well. All three of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
your two little favorites over there.
I know, right.
Carly and Jason.
Is Ava
And
really leaving? Yeah, seems like it.
And another thing that I thought looked pretty good when Sonny went to hit Jagger and Michael hooked his arm and stalked him.
Yes.
That looked pretty good, Chad.
Yes.
That looked good.
The court is going to decide that this kid goes to Carly. Not Ava or Sonny. You both are crazy. Mama Carly gets custody of Avery.
Well, actually, I could see that totally happening. Because I think the Sunny bipolar thing, in not having his lithium is going to calm down soon. Yeah. I think that Sunny's going to be back on his medicine soon.
And I could totally any second.
I could totally see Ava being dead by then. Mm-hmm. And I could totally see Sunny come to the realization of, I need to get better.
I just killed Ava.
Yeah, and here, Mama Carly, I'll come back and get her when I'm better.
Oh, kind of a Valentine move where he's like, listen, Charlotte, you put a snake in Ava's bag. You can't hang out with me anymore. This is not good for you. You need some Lulu influence in your life.
I could see that happening. And I could actually see, and Carly knowing that the reason why is because he wasn't medicated and didn't know he wasn't medicated. I could totally see her saying, yes, I'll take care of her until you are ready to.
Mm-hmm. Of course. She'll say it in her whisper. Of course I will. Wolfgang is happy that Carly's free. Well, I guess we can thank Brennan for that. Somebody erases his records and he erases Carly's and it's like, hey, look at that, Jagger. You got nothing. Get out.
Yeah, if Brennan's going to stick around, I wonder if Brennan's going to stick around.
Yeah.
If Brennan's going to stick around, I could see maybe a little Carly thing going on with him a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know what the future is. Because, I think that, we definitely have Jarly for the future. I don't really necessarily see her taking her eyes off of Jason, because they were just married and came back, and it's been pretty clear that they still dig each other quite a bit. He might run distraction in trying to get her, but I don't know how successful he would be in it.
It depends on how fast the pairing of Jarly, I think, yes, Jarly is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how, General Hospital may decide that we've got to watch this first.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want Carly and Sunny to reunite. I think that's done. I really do. I even think that the actors are kind of like, all right, guys, I think we played enough scenes together.
I was actually kind of surprised they put them back together that last time because they were apart from each other for a very long time.
They were, I think. Gosh.
Before the last Carly Sunny reunion.
Yeah. I'm heartbroken about Brandon dying IRL. Brandon? I don't know. Brando? Oh, well, hey, there's news for that. The police have found a video of the suspects.
Really?
Who were responsible for the death of Johnny Lecter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Jeannie actually just shared it to us before.
I hope it's clear enough that they have I hope it's clear enough that they can ID somebody from it.
Yeah, so I think there was enough of there was something about tattoos on somebody's face that they were able to get off of the video, which is a very strong identifying thing that the police look for.
Is.
So that's a step in the right direction when it comes to finding out who did this.
Oh, I hope they are.
So they released the video through news outlets to the general public, which to me means that they've had it for a while. Mm-hmm. And have come to the end of what they're able to suss out without getting additional witnesses to help. So there's news.
Somebody had to have seen something that night.
I don't know, Ma. It was 3 a.m. in the middle of DTLA. There's no guarantee that there was anybody else around.
Yeah.
Just no guarantee. But They release video of the suspects. It's not the clearest thing. I wouldn't be able to tell you who these people are, but if you know a trio of people who like to hang out in black and gray hoodies and have facial tattoos, then call the LA police.
Fire catalytic converters out all night long.
Yeah, call the police.
I hope for his family, for Johnny's family, that they are able to catch who did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not going to bring Johnny back, but I think, as a loved one, it would bring them some kind of comfort. That
Comfort and closure. Yeah, it's very important. To at least know who took the life away. I think I haven't experienced anything in that in my life. Thankfully, nothing tragic like that has come through my experience. But I would imagine that I would want to at least know who did it.
Yes.
At least who.
And especially in Johnny's, well, in any case, but, Johnny did nothing.
No, he approached him and was like, hey, guys, you got,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, terribly. Just complete waste of life on all ends. Waste of life that they're living and a waste of life that they took away.
Yes.
Ugh. Well, in happier news, Charlie says that if Mara would have stayed, then that's a perfect pair for Rick.
It is, actually.
So who knows? Because I've heard both sides. I've heard that, yeah, she's out. She has been out for a while. This is why all this is happening with Ava. This is basically, they said goodbye Michael Easton and then started to show him the door over the course of a couple of months. Same thing with Ava. We're showing you the door for a couple of months. But I've also heard from one source that maybe they might have changed their minds a little bit on the extent of the result of this story, and maybe Mara West will be sticking around. I don't know, because at this point I've heard both, so I don't know which one is correct.
I vote for Mara to stick around because I think she's so phenomenal, and she, anybody that's in a scene with her, they're phenomenal as well because they just pull greatness out of each other.
Oh yeah, totally.
So,
totally.
Having Mara West not on the show anymore, that I'm not a fan of that.
Mara West is more important to the show than just Ava Jerome.
I think so.
Like her, like you just said, her presence on the scenes with people that elevates everybody that she works with. And imagine the amount of good that she did for Sydney Michaela and also Tabyana Ali. These young actors coming in. Now they also have repeated scenes with one of the best in the game.
They could have more. They could have Ava die. They could have Ava die and have Mora come right from New York, right into scene as Ava's twin. And Dahlia told us about now. Went to Ryan's bar and hey, she got a twin. Here she is, and she's pissed because her sister.
Delia Ryan,
yeah. Ava got a sister.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Ava and Eva. Here's Eva. There you go.
Eva and Ava. Wouldn't it be fun? Okay, here's what it is. So Ava does die, right? She's murdered or whatever it is, right? And they take her away, and we're like, oh man, sucks. I miss Mara West. I wish she was still on the show. 2.5 to 3 months later, 2 people walk into Sonny's office. Ava and Julian.
I like that.
Mara West can come back as a different character. Nah, Ava all the way. Plus, she does it so well that anybody that she would, the different character that Mara West would have to play would have to be so 100% different than Ava for it to work. Because otherwise she would just be Ava.
She would have to maybe even come in with a stupid Kentucky accent.
She'd have to come in and be like, oh, she's being mean is what you're doing. Mean. Like, we would have to get Susan from Days of Our Lives as played by Mara West. In order for a new character to really work out for her,
yeah,
I think.
Because their persona of Ava has been so big and so strong.
And if you take a look too, the actors that they have done this character swap with is characters that they do character swaps with. So Roger Howarth, he's Todd, and then he's Franco, and then he's Austin. But he's already established with this actor. This audience knows that this particular actor isn't always the same character that you see him as.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Michael Easton. He played a bunch of characters on GH. The audience knows that Michael Easton's face might not necessarily always be Hamilton Finn.
Exactly.
But with other people,
but even be Ebenezer Scrooge.
Right. But also, but with the other actors on the show, though, they haven't had, that and come in. So if they were to say, okay, well, Mara West is no longer playing Ava, she's going to play something else, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, for the audience who hasn't been trained off of Mara West playing different characters to fully embrace a new character played by Mara West. Does that make sense, folks?
I think it makes sense.
I hope so.
I think it makes sense. I also think, and I don't know why, but I also think that coming back in as a different character for a man might be a little easier.
I have no commentary
you don't
on that.
necessarily need to look all that different. I think, coming in, like, okay, for instance.
That's fair. That's fair.
For instance, when, who was it that came back and played Claudia? Joy Brown.
Yeah, Sarah Joy. Blonde to dark brunette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and those characters are not the same at all.
Not at all.
I think it's a little bit harder, I think, for a female actor.
I saw Sarah Joy Brown. Apparently her daughter is a little clone of her.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that a little bit today on Instagram and Twitter or something. Yeah. Oh, we gotta. So Professor Angela and Vinny are gonna start talking about the Studio City a little bit over on the Suds and the Squared Circle channel. So give them a follow if you're interested in that. Sarah Joy Brown was on that show.
She sure was. So was Tristan Rogers.
And
Carolyn Hennessy.
Carolyn Hennessy, yes.
Carolyn Hennessy playing a character that's mean.
And her character is really fun on that show.
Yeah, she is.
Really
Daisy
fun.
Personally doesn't think the Mara's going anywhere. That's nice. Yes.
I hope she doesn't.
Yeah, no, the character that Carolyn Hennessy played is just the high-end producer who's mean producer. The showrunner of their fake soap on there. And Tristan Rogers, great work by Tristan Rogers and Sarah Joy Brown, by the way. Not to diminish the rest of the cast, because they have Patricia Darbo, I think her name is. She was on it. Tristan Rogers.
And of course the creator.
Sean Kanan, so he's all over it. So it's not like we don't have soap stars throughout this whole thing from top to bottom. But really, guys, like sincerely, Sarah Joy Brown and Tristan Rogers are a cut above the rest. I didn't realize, because soap is soap. Are they trying? Yes. Are they acting? Yes. But it's still a soap. It's still 5 days a week. As our big villain Ingo Rademacher says, you're yourself. You don't have time to be anything but yourself because you're going. These two people, holy smokes, what performances on Studio City. With the medical condition and the reaction to and the father-daughter relationship. I'm trying not to do spoilers for anybody that intends to watch it, but it is exceptional when it comes to just the performances, what they pulled out from the characters, when it comes to hooking the audience in for that emotional response. Holy smokes, folks. Go see it.
Yeah.
For those two. Everything else is standard fare, I would say. But those two really hit it out of the park. Brooke Kerr is also a strong soap acting background and has been an important acting partner for Sydney and Toby. Too bad the writers haven't put Trina and Portia in a scene since February, says Kay Disciple. Sure, that statement is likely very true, but also at the same time, that statement is trying to find trouble that doesn't really exist. It's unfortunate that Trina and Portia haven't shared a scene. Why? Why is it? Because of their mother and daughter. Okay. What is it going to do? What is it going to contribute to? And I'm not saying that it can't. I'm wondering what it does. They can talk about their problems, cool, but Portia has nothing going on in her life right now.
No, not really. Her life right now is status quo.
It's the Heather thing, but that is in a backseat until we resolve the Christina stuff that's front and center right now. So Portia doesn't really have too much to do. She and Trina can talk about the Heather situation, in which Portia can say, I think she should go to jail, and Trina can say, well, I think that maybe we should talk about it a little bit more. And then they fight, and then they don't get along, and then they have a break in their relationship, and then they don't have scenes together. So do
I want the writing staff to write the Ashfords and Trina a great story? Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't necessarily think that we need to have it forced on us right now. You know, they're mother and daughter, so they must share scenes together. Maybe we're holding on to Portia so she can play an incredibly huge and important role in the Heather story that's coming. Because Heather's flapping. She's flapping around in the breeze right now, but soon enough, a court is going to rehear it. Whether she wants them to or not, whether she is a witness that says, I need to stay in jail, it's not up to her. It's up to the court.
This is what I would really like to see happen with Heather. I want Heather to get out of jail and hook up with Cyrus.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
They're both trying to be
the
good.
reason why, and I think that how they could do with Cyrus is he could say, I've been a good boy now for 6 or 8 months doing dishes. No one gives a damn. I'm gonna go back to my various ways.
There's that, or they both are genuinely trying to do good. They hook up, well, we're the only people that would ever give someone like us a chance. So let's just see where this goes. And then they unintentionally inspire each other time and time again to do the wrong thing.
It would be great stuff.
It would be so good. It would be so good. So yeah, on one hand, would it be nice to see Brooke Kerr and Tabian Ali share the screen together? Yes. But what does that really do? If we're not making that relationship, that pairing, that mother and daughter dynamic a more important factor to the show, then what is it really doing other than just having some scenes?
They need to write something for the Ashfords.
Exactly. And until that happens, yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that. I'm not saying that that's wrong. That's totally correct. They could do Bible study together, says Chandra. I mean, that's something. I mean, of course, there's something that you can do, but what does it do? What does it do? Every moment of the show, 5 days a week, should, whether it does or not, it should either inform character or push story. One of those two things. If you just have people sitting around now, the diner, the cup, drinking coffee. Oh, this is the problem I'm going through. This is the problem I'm going through. That's recap.
Yes.
You need that sometimes. It's on 5 days a week.
I like I said, I really would love for them to write a storyline for the Ashfords. Am I interested in seeing filler scenes? No. I want them to have a story.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And I think I think that there's a little bit more careful consideration of who is in scenes and doing what and all that than the audience is giving the show credit for.
I do think we're going to see some more Trina, though, in the fallout of this Ava thing. There's
totally.
They had us purposely see her look up the window and see Ava. The reason for Trina to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's the beginning of the Ava and Trina friendship to fracture.
Mm-hmm. No, it's going to lead into some great soapy content. And it could even lead into Portia and Trina conversations about Ava, because potentially Trina's losing this mother figure. Who would she want to talk to about that? Her other mother figure.
And that's not a filler scene. That's pushing story.
That's pushing story. That's important. It's not still fighting about Esme. That's not fighting about Spencer. Folks, I'm going to say this, and you might not like me for it, or you may love me for it. Forget about effing Spencer, please. Forget about him. He's gone. He's dead. He's not coming back. They're not recasting Geo. Would have been a horrible Spencer, folks. He would have been an even worse Cameron. No, Geo's Geo. Just forget about it. Just focus on what's happening now. Don't worry about Spencer. You got an extra 9 months out of him that you didn't originally deserve anyway.
And hopefully, I want Spencer to come back.
Eventually.
But
not right now. I saw somebody on Twitter going, man, this Christina falling out of the window scene would have been so much better if Spencer was next to Trina. Holy shit, folks. I'm just saying that now. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Anyway. Chandra says, my thoughts. There isn't much diversity seen on screen. If characters of color were naturally woven into other stories, we'd see them on screen more. There's no Terry, there's no Brad, there's no Miss Wu. Here's the thing, Chandra, you listed 3 characters that are less than recurring. Terry? Brad? Miss Wu? Sure, they're good characters in their own right, but what sort of impact do they have? What sort of importance do they have? Could they have importance if it was written for them? Sure, everybody can have importance if
Exactly.
it was written for them, but as it stands right now, they don't matter.
And so,
But maybe that's the
like
problem.
we said earlier, they're right now, they are in a pivot. They are in a pivot right now. Yeah, I want all those characters to have story, but with all this stuff that's coming on, with Lucky coming back,
There's not.
and the whole Jason story going forward, we've always said that General Hospital's cast is a little fat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really, really hard to have have them all on.
Yeah.
There's just so many. And General Hospital really doesn't do the styling of another soap opera that we watch, Days of Our Lives, where they don't send somebody upstairs and they're just there for 6 months.
Yeah, and then they come back down and now they're
and then
playing
they come back
again.
down and say, "Hey, y'all, what you fighting about?"
It's true.
No,
It's true. It's
DH
true.
doesn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm. 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 Now, is there room for more diversity? Of course, there's always room for more diversity.
Of course.
Is there room for a story for Terry? Absolutely. Is there room for a story from Brad? Absolutely not. Brad has no place on this show. They would have to invent the hell out of something in order to include Brad again. There's no room for Brad. I understand we want Asian representation. Totally into it. Totally for it. But when it comes to the character of Bradley Cooper, his name is Bradley Cooper. You would have to reintroduce Miss Wu and have Miss Wu have a big thing. And then Brad can come in unless we decide that Brad and Terry are good friends. Or we decide that Brad and Elizabeth are good friends or something. But you still have to invent the hell out of something for Brad to work. Terry's a little bit easier. Miss Wu is a little bit easier. But you still got to invent some stuff. And also, Sunny is so involved in so many things that if you include Miss Wu, that's another thing that Sunny's doing. Jagger and Brennan and Carly and Ava and then now Miss Wu. There's complication there when it comes to those specific characters, not who they represent, not where they're from, not the actors who play them, not the diversity that should exist in the show that we watch. But when it comes to Miss Wu and Brad and Terry, that is a hefty order. Mm-hmm. Jagger has an FBI partner that comes in. Much easier. That's just my thought, though. Thanks, Wolfgang. We're going to wrap up, too. TJ and Trina are representing well. They're intertwined to major stories. That's just, one example. One example. I think we're looking for more, just a little bit more than just those two. But it is an example of something that's working in the right direction. Brad and Lucas were front and center during the Wiley baby switch, but both faded when that was over.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to give Brad a little more when he was introduced, came back. He was back on canvas as Selena Wu's nephew.
Sure. Yes,
I thought they might expand, and they did a tiny, tiny bit, but they dropped that like a hot potato.
Because Brad is connected to one character and one character alone. Always has been and always will be, even when he's doing his own independent thing. The reason Brad exists is because of Britt. Because those two characters are charming as F. Mm-hmm. They leap off of the page, and they're fun to watch together. But without that dynamic, Brad has nothing to bring. So when Britt left, there's no room for Brad. It's unfortunate. And again, I can't reiterate this enough, and James Lott Jr. will support me in this sentence. You can write anything. You can make anything happen. It's the amount of effort that goes into it, which might stop it. I think that's it. What do you think, Ma?
I think so. Didn't we cover your list? I know your list was short because it was so impactful.
Yeah, super short, super impactful. But again, that's a good thing. Kicking butt. I love everybody, by the way. Thanks for watching the show.
We sure do.
I love reading your opinions. Even if I disagree, I still love it.
Matt Cat in the chat.
Matt Cat the chat wouldn't be the same without you all.
Yo.
Miss Wu was on a lot during the Gladys gambling mess, but faded when that story was over as well. Because the story's over, guys. The story ended. Mm-hmm. They were the accessory, secondary characters in these stories. Gladys was the lead. Curtis was the lead. Miss Wu was the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's that simple. Sometimes.
That simple.
Sometimes it's a lot more complicated. Anyway, folks, that's it. Get out of here. Go back into the elevator. Go back down to the first floor. Enjoy the hell out of some General Hospital and your weekend. All right, we're going back down on the first floor. We're going to get into our cars, and we're going to be dodging, ducking, and weaving because we don't know where Miss Wu is. She could be anywhere. And so we got to avoid that criminality as much as possible as we dive through our front windows. Roll them up real quick because they're crank windows, okay? You can't rely on batteries. Get on out of here, out of the parking garage. Tune your radios to previous episodes of the 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to us on Twitter, and we'll send you in the right direction. That's at 10th Floor GH, by the way, 10th Floor GH. You can also send us an email if you want, 10thfloorgh@gmail.com. Give us a follow on Facebook, on Instagram, all that sort of stuff, and join the soap conversation that happens all week long for the most part.
Like and subscribe.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ma, you're so good at that. You can visit my mama's Poshmark store. Chandra just left the link.
Yep.
Hi, Chelsea. Goodbye, Chelsea.
We are done, I think, Chelsea. I think we're done for the day. I hope you've been listening all this time.
Scroll back, Chelsea, because I told you how I expect this Ava storyline to end. And that's going to be with a murder.
Well, we're all going to find out together.
We sure are. We sure are.
But it don't look like Ava. Her goose may be cooked.
Very much so. She laid in golden goose eggs. Veruca salt is through and she wants one. Ava, you better hide.
You better hide, girl.
Come on back, like Chandra says. Once we're done here, leave a comment on the video. It helps everybody else find this. Like it, share it, subscribe, give it to your friends, tweet about us, all that kind of nonsense. And we'll see you next week at 9 a.m. for Days for Dummies. Thursday, I have to record my voice with James Lott Jr.
Okay, then we ain't doing no skinny
Fairview
dip.
Heights at 7 p.m. So maybe we can squirrel in something a little early and just, hang out
Well,
at
let
the
me
water
know.
cooler.
I'm retired. I got a lot more time than you do.
We'll figure it out. So watch the channel. We might be back on Thursday. We're definitely going to be back on next Sunday morning, 9 a.m. for Days for Dummies, and then 11 a.m. for 10th Floor Podcast.
You all better bring me a cupcake. Saturday's my birthday.
Exactly. We said that before. Saturday's Mama's birthday. We're going to party on Sunday. So join us for that. Goodbye. So long. Farewell. Zen tonight.
You know who sings that song really well? Angela.
Oh.
She does.
Well.
I've heard her sing it.
I bet Kathleen Gaddy does a really good job too.
Oh, I bet. Oh, my gosh. I bet Kathleen did. She could kill that.
Kathleen Gaddy, I might have to reach out to you and have you come over on this channel and sing us a little song. Go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next week right here on the 10th Floor. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.